Cheers. Sip of bourbon for the working man. I want to talk a little bit about just, I guess, in general, how everyone seems to be walking around saying how shitty their command is, how much their chain of command sucks. Just in general, it seems like there's a lot of very, very unhappy people out there. And I don't know if it's an immaturity thing or if it's just because, you got to remember, in the military, this is a lot of people's first job. For me, nothing could be further than the truth. I had my first job when I was 14 years old. I worked all through my teens. I went to college. I wasn't allowed to have a job in college because I was an athlete, but, I worked a lot before I joined the Navy. You remember, I joined the Navy when I was 30. So I've had jobs before. And it really seems like everyone says that their chain of command sucks or that their command sucks because of their chain of command. And, I rarely take the side of the brass, and I'm not taking the side of the brass, but the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because, here recently there's been a little bit of a shift, and our chain of command now has actually gotten really better. There were some people there that were just making life difficult for everybody. Just it seemed just to be a dick. And there are going to be those people out there, whether you're in the military or not. There's always going to be people usually in a tenuous position of power that just feel the need to make everybody's life difficult, to make sure everybody knows that they're in charge, just because it's fun. I don't understand that point of view. That's a very, very immature posture to take, when you're dealing with people. But it happens. It happens a lot in the military, out of the military, it doesn't matter. But now, we've actually had the kind of shift that you dream of. We have a chief right now who was promoted very, very late. It's a shame that this person waited so long, or not waited, but, didn't get promoted for all this time. It's ridiculous because he's overqualified to be our chief. And the chief that we didn't like is gone. So things should be getting better, right? By that logic, if our chain of command sucks, then by eliminating the person who was making the most problems for everybody, then everything should be solved, right? But it's not. Everybody is still walking around talking about how much they hate their life. Everyone is still talking about how much they hate the command. The chain of command sucks. Everything's terrible. It's like going to work with a bunch of Darias, la, 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 la. And it's just, when you feel like you're the one person who does want to be there. I hooked and jabbed to be here. I'm nothing special. I'm just telling you the truth. I really, really had to advocate to be here, to continue to do what I want to do. I really, really had to push for that, and to have done that and succeed, and then to be surrounded by a bunch of people who don't want to be here. It's really, really confusing, and it can kind of work your nerves a little bit. But let's just take a look at this. It's actually caused me to look more intrinsic than extrinsic, and this is the conclusion I've come to. You out there who have done your service in the military, or you don't even have to be in the military, but those of you who can relate to what I'm talking about. Maybe you work a job that's not the best, or you have these people who run around thinking they're in charge and they just like to bark orders at people. You are the people who I want to hear weigh in on this. How much of the chain of command really, really contributes to the attitude of your coworkers, your buddies, the people you see every day? I'm not talking about the guys who sit in the office all day and just look at analytics and probably watch YouTube and porno and all that. I'm not worried about those guys. I'm talking about the people that you work side by side with every day. Now, for me, we're in the medical setting. We work at a hospital. I'm really wondering, how much does one guy who doesn't shoot x-rays, who doesn't really work with patients, who just does admin, how much does that one guy have an influence over us. Now, if you had asked me, 2 years ago, it would have been a lot, because there were two of them, and they both were terrible. They were both terrible leaders. We had some really bad leaders out there, but now they're both gone. And one of the people who were in fact, the guy who was the biggest advocate for us is now a chief, and he's now in that position, and nothing seems to have gotten better. And he hasn't changed. A lot of people do that. A lot of people make rank and they turn into complete dicks. I mean, and you don't have to go up to the level of a chief for that. You see people go from E3 to E4 and completely change who they are. We all know somebody out there like that. They make one little rank and they all of a sudden they're like, I'm the man in charge. And it's really, really funny to see, because you realize that it takes them a while actually to realize that, no, you're pretty much going to go back and do the same job. Maybe at your next command, you might be qualified for a more important job. But here, we're pretty much going to leave you right where you are. So, like I said, it's caused me to look intrinsic. So, is it possible that it's been us the entire time? You know what I mean? Has it been me? Has it been my coworkers? Have we been the problem the entire time? I'm sure those bad chiefs and those bad leaders from the past didn't help, but could we have done more to make it better for ourselves? I really want to know, because, I've been at commands where, we just don't help each other. I mean, I'm sorry. This is Unleashed. I'm going to go there on you. At my current command, we don't help each other. There'll be a team of, like, let's just say there's 4 teams. Each team has 4 people. Maybe 2 of those people are really dedicated workers on each team. I don't know about the other teams. I'm on my own team. I just concentrate on what's going on. But there's always one person that just thinks they can just sit around and not do their job and not pull their weight. And it's like, I hear the same thing over and over again. Oh, well, just call me if, you need me, if you guys get over. Well, why do we have to call you to get over? Why do we have to call you? I'm not your secretary. Why is it that you'll only come out when things are bad, when you're getting overwhelmed? I love working on the weekends, because usually when I work on the weekends, I'm working with somebody that is as dedicated as I am, and it makes all the difference in the world. When you're shooting x-rays, I won't go too deep into the weeds on the little BS that it takes to shoot an x-ray. Swig of whiskey for the working man. I won't go too deep into the weeds on the admin side of what it's like to shoot x-rays, but basically, it doesn't take 16 people to shoot an x-ray. On a great day, it takes one person, sometimes even less than that. I could talk somebody through how to shoot an x-ray over the phone. It's not rocket science, It's those times where you need all hands on deck that it really makes a difference. But on a regular day, you're shooting chest x-ray after chest x-ray, knee x-ray after knee x-ray, foot x-ray after foot x-ray. And it's over and over and over again. And yeah, it's repetitive and it gets redundant, but still, what should make your command great, what should make it, noteworthy and worth coming back to every single day. Even right now, we work this slanted schedule where we get a lot of time off, but even those days are tough when you don't have everybody working together. And it's something as simple as that, working together as a team. And it's something that is banged into your brain all through boot camp and all through any of the training evolutions that you're going to do in the military. It's the same thing. Work together as a team, achieve a goal as a team. And that, it seems like it's completely evaporated. I will not understand how people will just sit on the couch and just watch people work and not do anything. So I really wonder, because, the Chief Whiskeys of the world, the Petty Officer Wednesdays of the world, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to hear more about those two assholes. But if Those two people are going home and they are not thinking about us. Let me tell you, those two people go home at night. They do whatever they do during the day. They go home and they don't care. They don't think about us. What I think about is my buddy that's sitting there while orders are coming out and patients are showing up, and, out of 4 people, 2 of them are going back and forth, grabbing chits and doing the work, and 2 of them are just kind of lollygagging around and not doing anything. Maybe that's the reason why everybody is stressed out. Maybe that's the reason why nobody wants to be there. I mean, look around at your command right now. Is it a bad command? Do you have a bad chain of command, or do you have bad coworkers? And it's not all their fault. We have created this culture where it is really, really hard to ask for help. The number going around right now is 22 a day. They say 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and that's a terrifying statistic if that's true. I mean, I've been down in the dumps before. I don't know. I've never, I hope nothing like that ever happens to anybody I care about. I mean, it already has once. A buddy of mine that I knew from boot camp, it happened to him, and it's tragic. I mean, the guy was in his mid-20s. He was a kid, and I have no idea what was going through his mind for that. He seemed like a really cool guy, and, we'll never know. But the point is that could the chain of command have, said to themselves, you know what, let me go and check on this guy just to make sure he's okay. Just one random guy out of 30, 40, 50, 100 people that are in my charge. I'm just going to pick one of them and go see if he's mentally all right. Could they do that? Sure, they could. But is that more likely, or is it more likely for your buddy standing next to you to notice that, hey, you know what? He's acting funny. Let's go talk to him. I know that's an extreme example, and I'm not trying to pull on anybody's heartstrings or make anybody feel bad, but it's the truth, and people need to understand that your command posture really depends on you. I mean, okay, let me kind of bring this situation. Let me try to explain this situation. I don't want to take too much time trying to set it up here, but basically there was a situation back when I first came to this command where the working hours were horrendous. They were absolutely terrible. Right now we got pretty much what we asked for. We have these 12-hour shifts where we work basically 2 weekdays a week, and then we alternate 3-day weekends. So like, take for example, this week I'm only working Wednesday and Thursday, and I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Next week I work Monday, Tuesday, then I have 2 days off in the middle, and then I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it switches again. So that's the schedule that we have right now. Now, when I first got here, some asshole thought it would be a good idea if we work 12 straight days. They were only 8-hour days, but 12 days straight. And we did that like twice a month. I mean, God, that is just brutal. 12 days with no day off, man. I mean, that was a rough ride, man. And nobody was happy. That is squarely on the head of the chain of command, because I don't know who approved. Well, I do know who approved that, and thankfully that's the asshole that left. But whoever approved that, they clearly didn't have our best interest in mind. They weren't looking out for us, and we basically, we pulled together. But we pulled together, that's really the only time when people will pull together is when, you have a common enemy. We have a common enemy in this chief that we don't like, who's passing terrible policies that we don't care for. Now let's pull together because we all want something. But we can't pull together because we all just want to help each other. You know what I'm saying? I know. Anyway, what happened with this whole situation on working 12 days is I came forward, I talked to everybody and I was like, hey, do you guys, if you guys are with me, I'll put this together and I'll bring it to chief and I'll tell him, hey, listen, we really hate this schedule. We really do. We want to go back to 12s. We have enough people. Why don't we split the teams up like this? And I, presented an example of what we could do. And he rejected it then, but down the line, some things changed. I don't know, it's above my head. It's admin stuff. I don't do admin shit. I'm in the weeds. I don't like to sit around in front of a computer. I'm out there doing stuff, seeing patients, talking to people. But anyway, long story short, it finally got passed, and we were happy. But I think about that situation, and I think to myself, what if we just decided to stop? What if we just said, you know what? We're not going to do it. We're not. What if we just said that? What if, like I said, there's about 16 to 20 people that are shooting these x-rays over 4 different shifts. And what if we all decided, you know what? We're just going to do what we want to do. The watch is going to be covered. We're not going to leave the watch abandoned. We're not going to abandon anything. But we don't want to do this, and we're not. Now, you military folk out there would see that as, mutineering. But see, the difference is that it would take us all working together. We would all have to work together and say, hey, listen, we're going to go and we're going to say, hey, listen, we're not going to do this anymore. This is what we want to do. If you're not going to approve it, then we're going to go over your head. We're going to go to the next place, and we're going to go to the next person, the department head, the divo, the director. After that, it's going to end up going to the command master chief and the XO and the commanding officer all the way to the top. And if you know the military like I know, no department LCPO, lead chief petty officer, no one wants that on their head, basically, because if you're a chief and you're in charge of 20, 25 people, and these people are all going over your head because they have a problem, while there may be some blowback from the person who finally goes to see it, because from that chief, it will probably go to the SEL, or the senior enlisted leader, and that person would say, okay, first of all, you guys should handle this at the lowest level possible, but behind closed doors, what's going to happen is that chief is going to say, they're going to look at each other and going to say, okay, why are your people coming to me with this? Like, why aren't you handling this? What's going on? And he's going to end up looking bad, and no chief wants to look bad. So, I'm saying all this stuff just to say that, the spirit of teamwork is really, really dwindling. As is with humanity, the only time people want to band together and work together as a team is when basically it's a life or death situation, when they're getting shot at or when there's a chance they might die. And that's sad, because some of these guys I've been with for several years, and we still can't come together as a team. You see one person doing all the work, maybe you should jump up there and start working too. Why do you feel like you can just sit on the couch and just not do anything while 2 other people do it? I don't understand. But the fact is that these people have been allowed to get away with it for so long that now there's really no going back. There's no cop on the beat. There's nobody standing around making sure that people work. We're supposed to be adults. We're supposed to be the United States military. We're supposed to know our job. We're supposed to be able to get it done without some babysitter hovering over our heads and make sure it gets done. But like I said, a lot of people, this is their college experience, and if you went to college, you know that a lot of people's best and worst characteristics are going to come out through these formative years. And unfortunately, a lot of us are seeing what these people are basically they're going to be made of. But unlike just a traditional college, these people have rank, and they hold sway over other people. And if you see the people I'm working with right now, some of them, it's a very, very scary situation. So I don't know. I feel like we could be doing better. I feel like we have a very, very good opportunity here. I always try to end my videos on a positive note. I feel like we have a really good opportunity here with the chief we have now, who's a great leader, an outstanding human being. I feel like we have a great opportunity to come together and to mend some of the things that have been going wrong. A lot of people like me, still feel sore about some of the things that are going on. And for me, it's like, I'm so close to the end now. I mean, I've got a little over a year left, and while I know there's nothing they can do to me anymore, I mean, they can't really hold anything over my head. I mean, I'm not worried about evals anymore. You know, I don't have to do collaterals anymore because what's the point? But what does still matter to me is the people that I've been working with for the past 3 years. What matters to me is my buddies that I show up to work with every day. That's what should matter. I don't care about, making the XO look good. I don't care about getting on the CMC's good side. I've never even met that guy. What does matter to me is that I come to work, I got people that, and I don't have to like them. I don't have to come to their houses and have tea and crumpets, but I've been working with these guys for a while and I trust them. But, I mean, I guess I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but the spirit is right, I think. I just feel like with the chief that we have right now who's got our backs, and because we went through a long period where it felt like nobody had our backs and that we were just kind of in the Wild West. So we have a chief now who has our backs. Maybe it's time that we started having each other's backs. If your buddy is out there and he's got some 600-pound patient who can't get up and you have to shoot a rib series in the bed, maybe you should get up and give him a hand. Just my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like, share, and subscribe to BJBL Unleashed. Follow me on Instagram while you're at it, and I'll see you next time for more Unleashed.